Put it down. You'll go blind. Stay tuned. This is for all of you. Welcome again, everyone, to Jerry's Old Guy Review. Thank you to all of my subscribers. This weekend, in the midst of all my snow removal, I surpassed 500 subscriptions. Now, you know, there's people out there on the tube. 500 subscriptions, yawn. Well, also this month, on the 19th of March, was my 1-year anniversary of making my first video on the RC 4-wheel drive JD Models Overland. And I'll admit myself, a year ago, that video is bland and technical, and I believe I've come a long way. So, good on me. But good on you guys for watching and putting up with some of the videos. Some of them, yeah, they're okay. But my biggest thing is you guys. To interact with you in the comments section, or emailing, or hell, some of you, we even talk on the telephone, and we're all over the place. So that just, to me, is the most exciting part of this channel. And all my background noise, I apologize. But that is my thing, that those of us, we're all over the world, and we're communicating back and forth. Those of you with your own channels that I go and watch, and I like, I subscribe. I am not so full of myself that I will not send you to someone else who I know can help you. Now, a year ago, this is the kind of thing I noticed about the channels I was viewing. You know, I'm not sponsored. Everything comes out of my own pocket. So the vehicles I have are ones that I want, and I strive to. Not a lot of us have, you know, or a lot of you have the fortunate wife and situation I've been in, where I can get pretty much whatever I want within limits. I only have one very expensive truck, the RC 4-wheel drive JD Models heavy tonnage 114 scale. But there's those of you and some of the channels from some of the people who you will see here have heavy machinery. You know, I strive to get less expensive vehicles to see how they do, and then I can always upgrade them later. But I strive with a lot of my segments that I have, ask a question, get an answer. If I can show a visual presentation of a problem you're having, I am more than happy to do it. You know, Let It Fly on Fridays is just pretty much a little old bitch session, which, you know, it's not for everyone on the channel, but I have a dedicated group that gives me the sass if I'm even an hour late getting that out on Friday. So that makes me excited too. But, you know, when I can do reviews, I'll do them. You know, the vehicles I have, I consider it a wide spectrum of 110s, 112s, 114s, 118s, 2 4s, Hell, I've even got a ship. But you guys watching the videos and commenting is all I care about. So thank you so much. And I value your opinions so much. I wanted to open this one up to not only it's a thank you, but also your opinions. So, you know, put them down there in the comment section, wherever it's going to, probably over here maybe. You know, it might be, depending on how you have your phone, could be over here. But mainly what I'm looking for is your preferences. Now, I know a lot of you very well, and I know what your preferences will be. But I have a lot of younger viewers now, and people who aren't quite into certain segments. So that's where I want to open it up, so I can have more discussions with you guys. You know, ask a question, get an answer is the best place for that. But moving on. So on the bench are two examples of my main preference to something I like to sit down and just, it'll take up a whole day. It makes my mind just happy. But it's also something that you can do, and we won't get into tons of it. If you want to comment below about the quick topics, because I don't want this to be a big long video. Just a huge thank you to all you guys. But to keep us communicating, that is my biggest thing. The fact that I'm communicating with you guys, with people who have channels, people who don't have channels, you know, us in the little guy world, where we're not being told to just go run out to our paid supplier of RC stuff and just go buy their new thing. So the Trailfinder 2 84 4Runner. This was a complete frame off rebuild with 155 wheels and tires on it. You know, this I went all out on because this truck deserved it. This Trailfinder 2 was the original from back in, what the hell was that, 08? And I decided it just needed a facelift. And the best thing about leaf sprung vehicles is the more you drive them, the more you use them, the better the articulation is. And this truck, all broke in from years and years of action, looks great. And it performs moderately. But meanwhile, you get in there, you paint, you detail up the interior, because in an SUV you can see inside of it. A fun way to kill a weekend is to completely overhaul a truck, give it new kicks, give it a new body. You've got a brand new truck. Or if you have a ready to run truck, you can buy a cheap interior, or you, as I had in this one, or have one sitting on the shelf. Put an interior in it. Do the body line or the door moldings and where the vehicle would open and close. Texture your running boards and your fender flares. Tone down the stock wheels with a little bit of, as this has been weathered to look like road dirt. Some cheap vinyl graphic material, really thin. break up some of this gray, texture everything, redo the grill, put a fake winch line and fair lead on there. You know, this is mounted on the inside, so it could still work with a tow strap, but it just makes it look different from everyone else's. And all that costs you is some paint, some time, material, hardware store, auto parts store, you can get that kind of stuff at. Boom. That is basically a free upgrade that makes your truck look different than everyone else's. And this truck had an issue with a rear drive shaft. You know, all I did was go in there and trim it. So you can see a gap now on both sides of that rear drive shaft that wasn't there before. And it would actually hang up when you were crawling. There's a cheap and easy fix. So there is my thing. I guess we won't really go by topics, but I guess we could. So, do you like to just take RTRs and make them your own? Do you like a full-scale vehicle, interior, exterior, hard body? Is that your thing? Or do you just like some go-fast little bashers? I've had this truck, Traxxas VXL / 4x4. I've had this truck for years. It's on its second set of tires and its second body, which you can see it's pretty beat up. That truck with a lipo in it is outrageous. But even with a nickel metal, a big nickel metal, this truck performs very well. Not a yawner. Or are you more into the 1.7s? You know, this is the very first truck I ever bought that I could only use lipos in. So I had to buy lipos. And I'll tell you what, I am not disappointed by this guy. He gets paddles in the winter and his normals in the summer. If I want to just go out and be fast with a truck that's very durable, there we go. Or do you like to go really big? 1.5 scale. This truck love-hate relationship is a pain in my ass. It's been sitting now for a couple years, so I have to pull it completely apart, clean the carburetor, just to get it running again. But look at the size difference. 2 short course, well, I guess the Desert Racer isn't a short course, but 1.5, 1.7, look at the size. Now, I know the answer to this question. Does more of you like the semis, 1/14 scales, or the 1/12 scale Hemet? And this is my prime example of doing something different, taking a military vehicle and painting it up like a civilian rig. All that takes is time, and if you like detailing, this to me, once it was laying on pieces on the bench, came together so well. Or do you like just the straight military 112s? Crazy 110s? Old 110s? New 110s? Do you like taking a truck that is completely different than what it was designed for? I know I do. Or just make it a truck look beautiful and to function in a specific reason. Or do something completely off the wall. How many of you guys have done anything with a Lexan body? I know I owed you a finish video, but I was hoping it was going to be driving at that point. But the snow never stops. And then we're back to just normal semis. Thanks, Ron. That's my RC. He was concerned about my shelf space. So I now have, there's an extra shelf. And there's an extra shelf. So once again, guys, thank you for liking and subscribing and viewing and putting up with me for a year. And thank you again for liking and subscribing enough that I've surpassed 500. Let's go. I've mentioned it before. I'm still thinking at 1,000 subs, we're going to give something away. I may have it sitting on the shelf already. I don't know. But once again, for me, for my overworked, underpaid film crew, this is Jerry. Thank you.